Guys, what's up? We're down at the range. We're going to do some 100-yard accuracy tests with the 405 grain soft point load. We were getting inch group at 50 yards. So these are the North Fork 405 grain soft points. I noticed on just the way these bullets are with their, they got like a ton of those little ribs, almost like driving bands, but they're really small, supposed to help them lower lower pressures. But I noticed I had to use a Redding profile crimp. I couldn't use the Lee factory crimp just because it's such a tight spot. So they seem to work fine at 50 yards. We're getting an inch group. So we're gonna try them at 100. See how we do. We're using powder 30-31. We're getting right around 1,700 feet per second on average. So we're gonna shoot it through the chronograph anyways. Just, you know, if we're doing this, it's good to get as much data as we can at every time. It's a little bit warmer today, probably, it's like 54 degrees, so we finally got a nice day. The sun came out. So we'll try that out, and then we do have a couple more of the same bullet, slightly increased powder charges on that same 30-31. I never tested them before, because North Fork, I haven't found too much data on them, but when you buy the bullets, they give you a little sheet that says they're usually 3 to 4% higher in pressure for the same amount of charge. So they recommend starting like down to 8% from your max charge. So it seemed extreme, but that's what I did. I mean, I dropped 8% right off of my max charge that I worked up, and it was right on the money, 1,700 feet per second, which is what I ran on my cast bullets, which was accurate with that same powder. So, you know, I liked that. The accuracy was good. So I just stuck with it. I had already loaded up at the same time, you know, 5 of each, just to kind of get a 5-shot group, half grain increments. So we're gonna test them anyways, just to see where they're at for velocity, if there's much difference. If not, we're just gonna stick with the lower charge that I've, you know, pretty much accepted, but just for, you know, data purposes, let's just figure out and see where they're at. Once we figure these out, we're gonna try to mimic that load with those 400 grain hydrostatic Woodleys. You know, we don't want to shoot, you only get 10 in a bag. You know, they're pretty pricey, so we can't shoot a ton of them. We could, I guess, but, you know, we want to just, we'll work with these first. We have more of these available, so, and then we'll try to get those close. Be nice to just have some options, you know, for different purposes. You know, there's really a, you know, a tool for the job. Can you get away with one bullet here in North America? Yeah, probably. Those cast 405s have dropped. I mean, we can pick off rabbits with them. You know, you get no expansion, but the hole is big enough. You know, at 30 yards, if your gun's accurate and it's on point, you know, you can, but, you know, there's a different tool for each job. So we're gonna just, with these bullets, we'll have options here. Take notes of their point of impact compared to where our point of aim is, and, you know, we're just trying to work like those 350 cut point solid North Forks. You know, they're hitting with those running about 1,900 feet per second. They're hitting exact same point of impact as these 405s at around 1,700. Excuse me. So, you know, that's pretty good. So we know we can interchange those. We probably don't need to on the fly, but if we wanted to. So anyways, let's get some of these 405s loaded up, and we'll get some velocities and see what we get for groups at 100 yards. We last time we did have one failure to fire. It was like a light primer strike on these Winchester primers. These were loaded up beforehand. That's how I can tell if I'm using the Winchester ones, because they're this brass color. When I loaded up my other 350s, we switched out to the Federal Match. They cost more money, but I have them, and usually use them in my 308s, 30-06s. But you know, you don't want to be out in the field and light primer strike. You know, you only get one shot, and if you scare them off from that, you know, you might not get them back. I've only had, I think, two. I had two out of that lot of 1,000. So I've never had a problem before. I switched out to a Wolf extra power hammer spring after the first time, thinking that maybe that was the issue. But we still had one more. So I'm sure it's the primers, because I've never had that problem before. So, and it's only been on this one lot of Winchesters. So these are the same Winchesters out of that same lot. So, you know, we'll see what happens. But we'd like to have 100%, not 95%. So anyways, let's get to it. We'll cycle these through the magazine. You know, we just like to cycle them through the magazine. It's just extra practice. Let's just see if we're, you know, making ammo that's gonna work out in the field. Let's get our ears on. Okay. Hit rate at 1698. I'm gonna write that down here. We'll just do velocities. And let's see what that's hitting. So we're still hitting the same point of impact relative that we had for 50 yards. So that's good. $16.93. Yeah, and I had switched to this 30-31 because I just wanted to, I normally use 41-98, but 30-31 equivalent velocities seems to, it gives you lower chamber pressure, and we wanted to just see, also to be versatile in our powder selection, so we're not limited to one powder. We wanted to just see, you know, can we can we run a higher charge with a lower chamber pressure? And this 3031 seems to be working pretty good. So let's take a look and see. I'll bring the target back down when we're good and show you guys. But let's take a look through the scope here. So still looking pretty good. The scope here, I don't know if you guys can see it, but we're just using a Leupold Ultralight, 2.5 power. It's fixed power. It's nice, you know, out to 100 yards. You're not really zooming in much, but it's just enough. Gives you just enough where you can make a precise shot. I love running iron sights. I've always run peep sights on this thing. I actually didn't really hunt with a scope much until, you know, a year or two ago. I started messing around, just kind of messing around with stuff. You know, it's not traditional, but it's not as it's still pretty handy to carry. And we want to kind of run this thing through the ringer, driving around with it in the gun rack in our truck. You know, we'll run that thing. We've been running it in the all winter, and we're going to run it through this summer. You know, bombing around with it every day. Come hunting season, let's see where it's at. I've always just been a fan of set it and forget it. You know, rugged sights, but you know, we're gonna just see how this is. It's hard to trust the scope when you've always run irons, but this allows me to, at 100 yards. Everyone misses once in a while, but being on target with iron sights at 75 yards, running this even 2-power scope is it's at 100. I can't miss. You know, and I can, but you switch back to irons and you realize low light, shooting black bears. It's sometimes it's hard to see them in the bush, but anyways, that's the setup we're running on that scope. So let's get another shot in. He's a psycho and pretty nice, going right in. $16.87. Of course, once it gets warm out, I notice usually I'm testing it's usually around just below freezing when I'm doing most of my load testing, and by the time it comes summertime, my velocities, you know, when it's 80 degrees out, I've noticed my velocities are about 100 feet per second more. Now I could probably try to use my this is an 18.5-inch barrel guide gun. I do have a few 22-inch barrel ones. We could probably take those out and just to get a reference and see, you know, increase in velocity, if much. I'm sure it'll be more, but how much? Okay, so they're still all right on target. Get a couple more in. I like to do a 5-shot group. Gives you a good reference. Sometimes guys do 3 shots, but if I in a pinch, if you had to, I guess. But the more shots you can get in, the better average you can find out. So let's take another shot here. So there we go. Oh, that was my error. Help if you put it in the chamber. Thought we had another light primer strike. What's that? 1724. So that one's a little higher than the rest of them. These are all once fired Starline cases. Let's take a look here. So that one is right in the hole of another one. It looks like we're doing pretty good. These aren't as accurate as those 350 cut point solids, but but at 100 yards, you know, at 100 yards, that kind of accuracy. A lot of times using those cast bullets, we would get around, you could usually get 4 of them right within a 2.5 inch group. We'd always get one flyer. Not consistent, whether it's the first one or the last one. It's pretty common. They're just kind of the name of the game. Could be one that it could have been of the last batch as we were smelting them or whatnot. But let's take our 5th shot here. See where this lands. $16.93. I don't know if it's just me, but the smell of that powder, it's always a good smell. All right, let's take a look here. Okay, so we'll take our tape down there. We'll walk down there and take a look. I'll bring you guys with. Let's see here if I can let's see, we got a tape measure over here. Let's see what we can find. So let's take a look, guys. So we're using this 50-meter one because even with that scope at 100 yards, you know, I mean, I can see this one, but with the heavy duplex on there, it really covers that up. So let's just take a look here. Let's see if I can get you guys propped so you can see. Oh, I smell a skunk out here. So let's take a look. Oh yeah, you definitely smell a skunk. So anyways, let's see what we got. I mean, these 4 right here, you know, pretty good. We had one, I mean, I call it a flyer, but let's see if I can prop you guys here. We'll start it here. So I mean, at that, right there. So at our furthest shot, we're at two, just like 2 5/8. You know, 2 5/8. So that ain't bad. Our point of aim is right here as much as we can, and we're scope is sighted in for that on cast load. So we're doing pretty good here, because this is like 200 feet per second faster. It's also not a cast bullet. These are just jacketed bullets. So, you know, that's pretty good. So we'll swap this target out, and I'm gonna try to do some velocity tests. We'll do some velocity tests on those other 405s with a bigger charge. We'll kind of see where we're at velocity wise, and you know, accuracy wise at 100. But I mean, as far as that goes, you could probably shoot further, probably 150 yards, 200 yards. We don't get many shots out that far, not where I hunt. You know, I used to always just sight my peeps. I used to use this gun. I'd have buddies come out here to go bear hunting, and I'd take them bear hunting. That's all I'd have is that little short-barreled 45-70 with peep sights, and sighted in at 50 yards, you're good. Even most of our shots were under. Most of my bears are 30 yards and in, just so thick. But kind of testing with this scope, it does help at the end of the night, at the end of the day, that sun starts going down. It is nice. I mean, it gives you a little bit more time to hunt. Of course, with my eyes, I can see through that scope without my glasses on. These are prescription, but you know, when I'm wearing my glasses, if I don't have them on, I can't see, I can't shoot. So if I don't even have my glasses, I can shoot with this scope. So let's get some averages on this chronograph and see what we got. Okay. Of course, it's backwards for you guys, huh? I'll just read them to you. Oh, let's see. So we had a high of 1724, low of 1687, average 1699. So right on that 1700. Extreme spread 37, standard deviation 12. I'm just gonna write it down anyways. I like to keep all this data. Standard deviation is 12, huh? That's not bad. And that's pretty good. Okay, so I'm gonna go set up another target at 100, and I'll probably just we're gonna go grab some lunch, so I'll make another video for you guys, and we'll get an accuracy test and velocities on these higher charges, 30-31. See ya.